Hi, welcome to Phoenix Flight Manual. I'm Kesi Afiya. Today I'm going to be doing a video on a reunion. So, as the video is titled, I am in reunion. It is wonderful, and for anyone who's been following this journey online, the twin flame journey, they will definitely have seen a lot of adversity, a lot of suffering, a lot of hardship, a lot of challenge, and a lot of healing. So like the tarot readers, you know, they're showing that this is experiences that a lot of people are going through. If you read the comments, any videos people are putting up around their experience, there's a lot of common themes that come up. And the runner-chaser phase is a big part of that. So during that phase, things can get really dark, as they're supposed to, because that is our shadow work. And if you're going to be a powerful light worker, it helps to know your own shadows well, to be unafraid to venture in there, to trust your own light, and to trust that that light within you does come directly from the divine. And with that is your total security. That was a big thing for me during my shadow work, and that healing process was feeling so unsafe around being hurt by other people. During that process, I did become aware that my divine masculine had triggered feelings and issues that I had in general, and was not specific to him. It was just triggered so hard. It was such an emotional like backlash because of how strong my feelings for him are and were at the time. And so for me, this is and you will hear me say this in all my videos, it's a journey of unconditional love. So I am of the belief that the twin flame contract, twin flame connection, it's part of that is that this person was divinely designed to trigger you in the worst ways. Why? Why would God want to put you through such an ordeal? Is someone who resonates with the phoenix symbology and all that comes with that. Rebirth has been a big part of my life. So for me, that has just looked like constant evolution in the form of, I guess the most commonly used term is to reinvent yourself. For me though, it was just a process of peeling back layers. At every point that I made a major choice to live in a different way, to be a different way, it was because I really felt like I had outgrown the way that I was and the way I was doing things. It wasn't ever like, I want to be the best, so what can I do to, like, that's not my style of learning. I have been accused of being hard-headed. And so what that has looked like for me in my life is I'll do the work and I will do it. But I usually won't do it until I am violently pushed into doing it by the universe, by divine. And when it happens, I handle it. But it's not usually something that I choose into, and neither was it this time. So once I did get into that space, I did, as I say, do the work. And I mean, when there's that kind of work to be done and I know what needs to be done, like generally that's usually my biggest holdup is being in that state of confusion. What do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? Lord, please just tell me, give me some direction, give me a sign. But when I do know what needs to be done, I'm doing it. I'm the kind of person who, if you are a fan of Kill Bill and you're familiar with that movie, you'll recall the scene where Beatrix has to carry the water up this crazy flight of stairs. It's like stories and stories of stairs. And I'm the kind of person who has always chosen to run up those stairs, assuming you have to do it once. Because I'm just like, look, there's this challenging thing that has to be done. I can either pace myself and make it easier as we go, or I can just go super hard and have it over and done with much quicker, you know, put those water buckets down, sit down, and be done with it. That's how I've always approached challenge, and that's how I approached my healing work on this journey. And the place that it has brought me to is reunion. So what I'm gonna do is explain that for me, like what I'm talking about is divine reunion with the divine. That has been the whole purpose of the journey, has been to reconnect with divine in a way that we've never reached before. We're all on this journey light workers, we're all beautiful spirits, and we all have our challenges, and we all have our shadow work, and we all have our inner child work to do, and it can all get pretty dark and scary. But basically the thing that brought me back into union with the divine was faith. So when you're dealing with life, there are ways to get into spaces where you can feel really confident and really in control. For some people, that's very much in the mind. For some people, it's a physical thing. If they're working out and they're taking care of their body and all of that, they feel really in control. The reality is we are not in control. We have a certain amount of control, which is to control ourselves alone. So when we're thinking about all of the variables around us in the big environment that is the world, even in smaller environments that we're choosing into or have to go through, it can be very scary, where you're feeling like, well, how do I protect myself from getting hurt? And then for me, I found my way back to God through faith. And to say back is like to indicate that there was some complete departure, which there wasn't. It was just like a fog that had drifted in, and just like I couldn't see anything, but grief, and it felt like an eternity. It felt like an eternity. I just kept following the guidance that I was receiving, and it was unbelievably hard, especially because it just felt like I would get this guidance to do this healing work, and then I would locate some area of myself that needed healing, and I would go to it, and I would heal and work through it. And it was hard, and it was a whole thing. And then I'd be like, okay, wow, you did that. Sit down to do a tarot spread. Where am I at with this? You've got another tarot moment coming, and you've got some healing, and you're gonna have to go deep within. And I'm like, oh Are you serious? There's more? Like, oh my God, that's been the hardest part of the journey. And thankfully, I am past that part. I am in union with the divine, which is the entire point of this journey. So for anyone out there who sees this video, who is in a space where they're at any time feeling like this is something to do with their divine counterpart, as far as what they choose and what they want, will they, won't they, blah, blah, blah. It has nothing to do with that. Whether they do, whether they don't, divine union is necessary. It is necessary, especially for light workers. So think about it like this. Say your divine counterpart gets in contact with you tomorrow and is like, yes, let's do this. I don't know what I was thinking. Let's just make it work. Go. I'm all in. Without being in divine union, so being totally tight with the divine, totally in alignment, totally devoted. That's the big thing. Devotion, commitment to the divine, to your divine path, but really caring for that relationship. The way that you choose to allow the divine into your mind, into your heart, into your actions, into the way that you choose to be in the world. And they need to do that too. Anyone that you want to have a healthy, beautiful, meaningful relationship with has to also be in union with the divine. And that can look a million different ways for different people. I'm not talking about like they have to become a yoga teacher or a meditation instructor or something like that. It's just about honoring your truth and choosing love, choosing joy. These are derivatives of divine. So, when I was thinking about sitting down to do this video and sharing, I wanted to share with everyone the great, great relief, the great, great joy. And I was like, oh, I should sit down and be like, really, really? No, I'm not going to do that because that's not like organic. But I will share with you that multiple times in the past several days, week, I have sat and cried in gratitude with such an overwhelming sense of gratitude that I hadn't experienced since I was with my divine masculine, and we were in that high state of joy and gratitude. And it's such an empowering feeling to get there on your own, to know that that is not only accessible, it's your divine right. It's for you. It was always intended to be for you. It's always available to you. And all this focus on anything besides the divine takes your attention, takes your energy away. But this is the source of everything good in your life. Divine love, divine life force, God, universe, source energy, whatever you resonate with. That is literally the epicenter of everything you want. That is the most effective way to get what you want, is to go there. And generally, you will find that what you went there for is not truly what you wanted once you get there. And you recall, oh, after getting in touch with your higher self, oh, I have actually much deeper ambitions and needs and desires. I had just gotten caught up in the 3D, the basic, the shallow, the surface version. And when I say shallow, I don't mean like vain. I mean just the surface of what you really want. For example, if what you really wanted to do was be a part of the healthy diet revolution, and what you choose to do is to just cook nice meals for your friends, you're showing up for what you really want. And you say, you pray to God, oh, please make more of my friends available so I can keep having these lovely dinner parties where I'm feeding them this really healthy food and getting them interested in healthy food. That's beautiful, and you're totally on your path. But perhaps when you realign with yourself, with divine, you find that what you really want is that exact same thing on a bigger scale, on a deeper scale. And once you get in touch with that, everything gets a lot clearer. Everything starts to make more and more and more sense. Choose love, choose joy, choose gratitude, choose devotion. That consistency, that commitment, that bond is your protection. It is your power. It is your blessing. And it is the thing that's going to bring you the greatest joy. Never forget that everything around you is the external world. You have no control over what anybody else does. There's no safety in that. If what you want is to be happy and joyous and at peace and all those good things, you have to have your values set somewhere much more solid. Oh, I don't know, like an eternal love force. It's not going anywhere. It's not going to waver. It's never going to not be available to you. And the power is beyond all comprehension. So I did want to share that. I'm sorry if anyone wanted to get the juicy details on me getting back with my DM. That has not happened yet, and we're just starting in communication. But once I got back into divine union, once I got back into the flow of joy, the flow of creativity, the flow of life, the flow of abundance, the flow of inspiration, all of these things that the other readers and other people who were further along on the journey had said would happen did indeed happen. The synchronicities, it was like crazy, and they would just like, you don't have to look for them, just so you know, because before I got into that space, I was like, I don't want to miss it. Was that a sign? And it's not actually a great place to be, and it's not in the vibration of where you want to go. So you have to like really, really release any attachment to anything, your dreams, people, past. It's a big one. And just hold gratitude for your beautiful, blessed connection with the divine. That is so powerful. It is the power to heal all things, truly. I know that for me, a lot of the resistance was, but it's not done yet, but it's not done yet. We need to deal with this before I can like let go. Oh, there's only so many times you can be told to let go from the divine before you realize like that there's no way I can deny or argue that that's like my understanding, my relationship with the divine is that there's nothing that isn't offered to me that isn't out of alignment. Like everything that's in alignment for me will be offered to me. So if there's anything that I want that's not coming to me, it might just be because I really don't want it. I want what I thought it was going to be. On the other side, really feeling into the vibration of what you want, which I will actually say it's exactly how I found my way into union in the first place. Years beforehand, I had began a manifestation process, my best friend and I, and we were playing around with different manifestation methods and tools. Like, for example, when she was in a space where she wanted to manifest her partner, I was like, okay, so what does he smell like? And she's like, well, that's a weird question. I was like, I know, but that's going to make it more real. She's like, oh, he smells like cedar wood. And I was like, great. Now he's a real person. Now we can start to like, okay, how does he deal with you? Blah, blah, blah. Where do you go? What do you guys do? And that worked for her. She found that ideal partner. They actually went on to have a child who's my goddaughter now, and just an amazing, beautiful creature. And so when it came time for me to do my manifestation process with what I had already done up to that point, just in general with manifesting, I felt, you know, even more particularly with such a special relationship, like a primary partner, all the things that come with that, that I had already been aware of and kind of toying around with the process of manifesting through a feeling. So in that case, for example, if I had a piece of paper, I'm going to sit down, okay, I want to manifest a man, not a man, the man of my dreams. Could sit down, take that piece of paper and write, well, he's going to be this tall, and he's going to be this ethnicity, and he's going to have this colored hair, and he's going to have this job, and blah, blah, blah. I promise you, you could manifest that and hate that person. I promise you. That's how it works, because that has nothing to do with how you're truly going to bond with that person. So then I really thought about, what did I want to bond with? What did I want that experience to be like? Why is this relationship so special? What am I looking for that I'm not getting or not willing to even go for in general relationships or platonic, intimate relationships? And I went for the feeling, and it was things to the effect of, I don't have it anymore. I actually like burnt it in a ceremony. It was really beautiful, but usually I always take photos just for self-reflection in the same way that you would journal, but also to help other people. Oftentimes I'll use my own notes from my own self-work to help somebody else if the tool seems to fit what they're needing. And so it was to the effect of, I was in Hawaii at the time, so the aloha was a really big, it was like all built around that essence of aloha, shared breath. And so I wanted to experience a bond with another person where it felt like we were breathing each other in. And it felt like, you know, when you've been holding your breath for a really long time and you finally get that deep breath, and it's just like, feels like life coming, flooding through your body, or like you've been out somewhere super dry, hot desert, and like there's no water. You don't know where the water is. Someone's got the water. Where's the water? Finally, by the time you get the water, you're just like, it tastes like sugar water, and it's so sweet, and you just feel it flowing through your body. That's what I was manifesting, and that's exactly what I got. And so this time around, I eventually realized that I couldn't have what I wanted without going through God. Like, as if it's that Holy Trinity triangle. to get to the divine counterpart I was really looking for, there was no way to get there except through God. So you have this like earth connection, but it doesn't rise up, it's flat. So if you want that connection, they got to meet you there too. You got to go through God, through divine, you know, through source. It's whatever, you know, label works for you, but the higher power, you know, the guiding light, that's where you will find reunion. And it is blissful and sweet and beautiful and joyous and everything that you want. So I really felt called to share that with you all, and I really hope that it helps, if only one person, and even for people who are with their divine counterpart, who may be, you know, in going through the same challenges just together. It still applies. And that's the other thing. When you do get back into union, you have to stay there. Think about how you got out. You, yourself, not what they did. If you focus on what they did, you're going down a dead end. You're also going backwards. So if you want that joy, remember where you found it. Because nobody else can make you happy. If you're ever happy with another person, it's because you were happy already. They were happy already, and you brought your happiness together. So, on that note, I will leave you with that. If you did like the video, I'd love it if you go ahead and like it, subscribe, share if you know somebody who could really do with hearing this message. And I love to see you back, and I'll probably have something more for you in the next few days, maybe tomorrow. Thanks, guys. Bye.